It started as one video. Just one. A handful of Europeans on camera saying they loved their life in America. By the next morning, some of them didn't recognize their own comment section. Fake, paid traitors. The words came fast, all because they said something simple. This country wasn't what they'd been told it would be. So why would anyone keep saying it, knowing what it would cost them? Let's find out.
I just really hope that you guys can accept our apology from the UK. Being a Brit coming to the USA, it's literally opened my eyes, and I've seen literally another part of this country I never knew existed.
The media portrays Americans as rude, lazy, all the above, and it's further from the truth.
People always ask me, why would you move to America? I don't think you get it until you see this. A Taco Bell Crunch Wrap and watching the sunset over the Manhattan skyline. And that is my American dream.
Stay with us, because how this ends is not what you're expecting. Before any of them booked a flight, they already had an opinion. Ask a Brit what America is like, and the answer comes fast. Dangerous streets, loud people, guns everywhere, and manners nowhere.
Don't like the culture, whether it's tipping, guns, the thoughts on abortion.
If you're dying or having a baby, why you got to pay for it?
There's nothing about America that I think I would prefer over here.
You don't have, like, free speech at all there.
I wouldn't last a minute over there, I don't think. It's definitely stricter over there than it is over here, 1000%. If I was to go anywhere in America, it'd be like maybe like Canada.
None of them had lived there. Most hadn't even visited. And yet somehow they were all certain they already knew exactly what they'd find. It wasn't just the news telling them this, it was everyone around them saying it the same way. 2 years into life in the US, a German man remembers exactly how that narrative gets built back home. Europeans lean hard on free healthcare and social programs to make their case, he says, pointing to it as proof of a better society. But sit with the numbers, he argues, and the story flips. Tax rates near 50%, unemployment climbing, people with degrees who still can't get ahead. He'd heard the argument so many times he started to hear it differently. Not as concern, but as envy wearing a nicer outfit.
Why Europeans hate America so much? I'm German. I have been living here for 2 years, and I'm thinking about this a lot. And I think one of the explanations is they're just really jealous. They think like, oh, we have free healthcare, our country's so amazing. But what they don't realize, they pay 50% tax, like nobody can afford anything. Everybody's broke in Europe. Unemployment is through the roof. So they just look at America and they're like just really, really jealous. And then they make up all these arguments why America sucks. So that's my honest opinion.
Message after message asked the same question on a British mother's phone. Why would you move your kids somewhere so dangerous? People back home treated her decision like a red flag. She'd grown used to explaining herself before she'd even unpacked.
We feel safer living in America than we do in the UK. I don't know why, but I've had so many people in my comments and DMs recently saying, why would you move to America when it's so dangerous and unsafe, especially compared to the UK where we're from? I'm just jumping on here to do a quick video rather than responding to everybody individually. I feel like your perception of danger and safety comes from your lived experience, what you've grown up around, where you live now, your personal circumstances, what you've been through. So for us in the UK, it was becoming what we feel was unsafe. The area that our children were being raised in was becoming more and more dangerous. There was an increase in number of violent crimes. There were lots of stabbings at the colleges and high schools. The town centre was no longer a place that we would visit because there was an increase in number of gangs that were attacking women in particular. My brother was attacked in broad daylight at a cash point. My dad grew up in an area very close to where we lived, and that was a really bad neighbourhood. So he was sewing razor blades into his collar and coat pocket just so that he could get away when he was attacked because they'd have their fingers bleeding. So we were feeling like our area was becoming very, very unsafe and dangerous. Whereas every time we've been to America, we have never felt in danger or threatened. We've been to loads of places in America, done loads of things that we probably shouldn't have done that would be considered dangerous, but nothing bad happened.
Then, without any warning, something small happened. Something nobody had prepared them for. On a balcony at dusk, a British man steps outside, palm trees dark against a lit-up skyline. He stops. Cicadas. a sound that doesn't exist back in the UK, and one he didn't expect to miss until he heard it again. He doesn't call it impressive. He calls it peaceful.
I'm in America right now, and there's something happening that I've missed so much outside. We don't have this in the UK. Let me show you. Okay, we're going to go outside. Listen. Can you hear it? It's the cicadas. The cicadas, when they make that noise, I just love it. And it's so relaxing and so peaceful. It's a little bit windy, so you might not be able to hear it, but I absolutely love it. Coming outside and hearing the cicadas, it's incredible. One of my favourite things about America, hearing the cicadas, incredible. I love it.
Something even smaller stops a Finnish woman in her tracks, strangers calling her sweetie, sweetheart, words her own mother barely uses. Back home, she says, a stranger saying that to you would feel invasive, almost alarming. Here, she decides she doesn't care if it's genuine or not. She's taking it as truth.
As a European in the US, I just love how people I've never met call me like sweetie and honey and sweetheart. Because I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I am sweet. How did you know? That's all that I've ever wanted to be. I don't think my own mother calls me that. In Finland, it would be very invasive to call somebody a sweetheart that you don't know. But honestly, I love this for Americans. I love this about you guys. I don't even care if you mean it. I will take it as truth. You think I'm so sweet. Like, absolutely, let's just be nice to each other. You could be a terrible person. I'll call you sweetie. I'll call you sweetheart.
Two tiny moments. Neither one proves anything on its own. But something had cracked. Once the cracks start, they don't stop. On a sidewalk in Nashville, a woman who became a US citizen after leaving China throws both arms in the air when she's asked if she's proud to be American. Independence, she says. The freedom to speak without fear of being punished for it. A few feet away, a young woman with sunglasses talks about her father, a Marine who spent part of her childhood deployed in Iraq, and how that shaped the way she thinks about the freedom she has now.
And for my last question, are you guys proud to be American?
Absolutely!
Yes, absolutely, yes.
Yes.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah?
Oh yeah.
Yes, of course.
Hell yeah.
I'm super proud to be an American. I love it here.
If you could tell the world one thing about what it means to be an American citizen, what would you tell them?
It's a great country to be. It affords you so many opportunities. I am truly humbled and honored to be a part of this country.
I'm an American citizen from China, so.
What's the thing that you appreciate the most about America being from China?
Independence. Freedom to express yourself without being condemned.
What makes you proud to be American?
Look at it. It's the country, right? It's freedom. We got it.
My freedom. I mean, my dad is a Marine. He spent some of my life in Iraq, so I appreciate my freedom and my time here a lot more because of that.
Flags and a bronze eagle statue fill the frame as a British man walks through a veterans memorial park. He isn't from here. He says so, more than once. But standing in front of a plaque dedicated to service members, something in him responds anyway. He tells other countries they should be taking notes.
This is one thing America does so well. It makes me feel patriotic, and I'm British. Let me show you. The way America honours its veterans is one of the most beautiful things. This here is a memorial park to honour veterans. Check it out. Honestly, it's touching. Tell me you don't look at this and not feel patriotic. As I said at the beginning of this video, I'm British and I feel patriotic. Look at it. Dedicated to our armed forced heroes and all who served. The eagle in the middle with the flag flying behind. America know how to honour their veterans, and other countries need to take a leaf out of America's book, because you guys really do it. And I think these people deserve the utmost respect, the utmost praises, and this is how it should be done. And thank you to all those who have served, even from a Brit. I appreciate you. God bless.
Another Brit, 21 states deep into a cross-country trip, admits he genuinely can't understand how Americans choose just one place to live. Every state, he says, feels like its own country, its own culture, its own weather, its own personality. 50 of them. He can't imagine picking.
I genuinely don't understand how Americans choose what state they want to live in. Every state I have visited has felt like a different country. different cultures, different activities, different scenery, completely different, and all amazing in their own right. Very different and amazing in different ways. So I can't understand for the life of me how you guys actually manage to pick one state when there are 50. I've visited 21 of them, and every single one's been amazing. Every single one has something that draws me to it. So Americans, let me know, how did you pick what state you live in? Or maybe you were just born there and you haven't moved around. I would suggest you move around and check out this amazing country because it's incredible.
3 years into life in the US, a man breaks it down to specifics. The small, almost embarrassing things he's come to love. Cashiers who actually ask about your day and mean it. Valet parking, ranch dressing, which he insists doesn't exist anywhere else on Earth in quite the same way. None of it sounds important. All of it adds up.
I have been living in the US now for almost 3 years, and this World Cup that's being hosted here and seeing all of the foreign people come to the US posting about all the incredible things that are here reminds me so much of when I first arrived. And it's so funny because as a Brit, when I rave about the country, when I speak highly of the States, when I talk about how incredibly friendly and welcoming and nice the people are, how much there is to do here, the beautiful scenery and land, the incredibly delicious ranch sauce that you don't get anywhere else in the world, the amazing service and hospitality that you get in restaurants, from valet parking your car. You go to the grocery store and people are asking you about your day and how you're doing and what you're up to that night. Those kinds of things you don't get anywhere else in the world. And those are just a handful of the highlights of living in this country. But it is so amazing to see so many people coming in here now to watch the World Cup who are now getting to experience that. And I think whilst every country in the world has terrible things going on and things that you could argue that are putting the country down the drain, etc., every country has good and bad things going on. And there are bad things going on here in America. But it is also one of the greatest, if not the greatest country in the world to live in. You can do anything you want here. You can live your dream. You can be supported by everyone around you, fellow Americans, because they are so patriotic and passionate for the most part. So I just wanted to say that, and it's really, really cool to see other people, foreigners now experiencing that in the US. And I know many of you guys who are actually Americans love your country as well. So it's great to be here.
Expecting a gas station, a European tourist walks into a Buc-ee's in Texas and finds something closer to a small city, a fresh tortilla factory, an entire wall of candy, a mascot beaver with its own clothing line. She loses her boyfriend somewhere in the aisles. The building, she says, is simply too big to comprehend.
Come with me to Buc-ee's for the first time. As a Floridian, this is a crazy gas station. You cannot come to Texas and not go to a Buc-ee's. I don't even know where to look. Oh my gosh, they have their own candy. Wait, what is that? I think they'll allow this in my luggage. Hey, these are super popular. We are definitely getting some of this. Milk chocolate bar. Literally so many options. Buc-ee's is literally so cute. Not get anything from here. I got my 10K steps here at Buc-ee's. Oh my god. All of this section here to explore. So much food. Tortilla factory. So cute. Cute little cup. Maybe I'll get some Buc-ee's merch. Sure, Buc-ee's has gas. But Buc-ee's has merch, candy, snacks, food, tortillas. Wow. I'm trying to find a Buc-ee's doggy toy for my golden. I'm gonna do this because he loves playing tug of war. Girl's famous jerky. We need to get some. Y'all, this place is so big I lost my boyfriend.
Inside an airport, a Scottish traveller finds something that nearly breaks him. A dog bathroom. Indoors. Fake grass. A fire hydrant. A lock on the door for privacy. He laughs, almost in disbelief, and asks out loud why anyone would ever want to leave a country that thought of this.
You guys know that I think America is the best place in the world, right? But it's not just the best place in the world for people, it's also the best place in the world for dogs. Because this right here is a goddamn dog toilet, right? In the airport, they have a dog toilet And it's got a lock on it, by the way, so your dog can have a privacy, right? So it can be vacant or occupied. Check this out. They've got a fire hydrant in here, water station, place to put the dog mess, bags, like a cone, so that the dog can pee on the cone and you can just blast it up. Really? It's not even just the best place in the world for people, it's the best place in the world for dogs. This is wild. They've literally thought of everything. Like, why do I have to leave this country?
Alone, each of these means little. A sound, a word, a dressing room's worth of merchandise. Stacked together, though, they start to look like a pattern nobody had warned them about. If you've ever felt torn between the place you're from and the place that ended up feeling like home, drop a comment. You're not the only one. Somewhere along the way, the story stops being about places. It starts being about people. 6 years into calling Arkansas home, a British man describes standing in a small town square for a Flag Day ceremony, watching an entire community fall quiet, hats off for the anthem. Neighbours he barely knew stopped by just to check that he was doing okay. He says it plainly, nothing about this matched what he'd been told to expect.
The media portrays Americans as rude, lazy, all the above, and it's further from the truth. The amount of hospitality and kindness and care and pride Americans hold is truly like no other country I've been to. And to show you a perfect example of that, today is Flag Day, National Flag Day. And I went to the Huntsville Square. They did the whole ceremony where they lower the flag and I guess put a new flag up for the year. And that was obviously followed by the American national anthem. And it was just so nice to see everyone get their hat, take it off, and respect the country. The communities are so tight-knit together. And whilst I was there, of course, I was noticed because of my online presence now. And everyone came up to me and said, hi, handshakes, how are you? If you have any questions about this or that, let me know. If you want to go hunting, I'll show you this. Not to mention, I've got fantastic neighbours. And they are always coming over to see if I need anything. After specifically living in Arkansas for almost 6 years, I can safely say anyone outside of the US, ignore the media, because this is the best place I've been to. I love living here. I respect the culture here. And I'm so proud to be an American citizen. I'm just so grateful to be here, and I'm looking forward to the next 50 years that I have as my life in this country. And hopefully soon I'll be able to travel the country as well and experience all of it, because it's just wonderful.
Still raw from watching his team get knocked out of the World Cup on American soil, an England fan turns the camera on himself anyway to say thank you. Not for the football, but the way strangers treated him the whole tournament through. He didn't expect that. The other visiting fans hadn't either.
Oh, the World Cup's over, or at least it is for England. What a sad day. But I just want to say, America, thank you for producing one of the best World Cups that I can remember. Honestly, you should be so, so proud. It was brilliant from start to finish. You guys have showed hospitality, kindness, and just pure brilliance throughout. And none of us really expected that, I'll be honest. So thank you so much, and hopefully you can host in the future. Cheers.
Further than the others, a French woman takes the story somewhere more personal. She talks about a recent doctor's visit and the moment it hit her that years of shrinking herself to fit in back home had taken a real physical toll. She describes it as living in a cage. In France, she says she was once looked at like a problem for something as small as what she chose to wear outside. In the US, she says simply, she can breathe.
You know why I feel so happy in the US? I can express myself in every aspect. The way I speak, the way I dress, the way I walk, even like in my business, in my project, in my creativity, I can just be me. And you know, like I went to the doctor and I have this diagnosis and I'm like, fuck this. And it's the consequences of what happens when you have to shrink, when you cannot express yourself, when you just have to check some boxes because you have to be that way or that way, and you cannot just Be yourself, express yourself fully when you feel that you're living in a cage. And this is what happens. I'm sorry, I love my country so much, but there's something that feels so off. 2 days ago, I was walking, and I had a shirt and I was not wearing bra because I don't need a bra and that's fucking it, and I don't need any justification. But people were just looking at me as if I was a problem, because that's the reality. When you walk here, people, they judge you. If you dare to dream too big or just to dream, it's not allowed. It's not allowed. You cannot really express yourself. And of course it exists also in the US. You have to check some boxes because in the end it's the cutest, the skinniest and things like that. I'm talking to women especially who are going to win, but in the end, yes, in the US I can breathe. I can breathe there, and I don't feel this competition as much with women as much as I can feel it here in France. That's why I love the US so much, and I don't fucking care about what other things about the US, because even myself, I was full of cliche before moving to the US, but then I moved there and I fell in love there. It was never my dream, but damn, it changed me so much. It changed me so much, and I'm deeply, deeply grateful for everything that happened in my life that brought me there. Damn, I love the US so much.
This is where it stops being observation. This is where it becomes personal. Once it becomes personal, though, something has to give. Standing outside in the sun, a young British man says the words out loud, on camera for anyone to see. The UK, he says, owes America an apology. Everything he'd been told, dangerous, unfriendly, turned out to be the opposite of what he found.
Guys, I think we owe you a big apology, because what we think America's like is exactly not what it's like. The news outlets in the UK say America's this, say America's that, say America's this, say America's that. I'm not going to get into detail, but listen, when you go to America, you actually see what it's like with your own two eyes. Honestly, people are so nice here. The hospitality is amazing. People are just so accommodating, and anything you want, they will do it. And the thing is, the people here are so nice, so polite, and in the UK, we think the complete opposite. We think people are not nice. We think it's very dangerous here. But it's not, guys. You need to go to America to experience it. Because if you're not, then you're missing out. You're 100% missing out of what it's like in the USA. So to me, to you, I give you guys a huge apology, because us Brits are missing out of the USA, honestly.
Filming from a hotel room lit in soft pink, a British woman says it, plainest of all. She believed every negative headline before she landed. 2 weeks later, she's on camera admitting she was wrong, and that American hospitality is not a myth. It's just something nobody back home wanted to report on.
Americans, I need to apologise to you. Before I came to this country, I believed everything negative I saw in the news. I saw things about how everyone was rude, how everyone tried to rip you off, and how people just genuinely don't get on. I have now been here over 2 weeks, and I can confirm that that is not the truth. Everyone has been so friendly to me. Everyone wants to talk to me. Everyone's been giving me advice about my trip and just genuinely being so helpful. American hospitality is definitely a real thing, guys, and I'm all here for it.
3 different people, 3 separate trips, the same conclusion, reached apart. That should have been the end of the story. It wasn't, because saying it out loud has a price. Standing in a crowd at a 4th of July festival, sweating in the heat, a British man says something that cuts straight to the point. He's getting hate. Real hate, simply for telling people back home how good his experience in America has been. Not because it isn't true, because people don't want to believe it. Minutes earlier, he'd watched total strangers share water and shade with each other in that same crowd, just to get each other through the heat. That's the part that gets buried under the comments calling him a sellout.
The media owes America a huge apology, because it's nothing like it's being portrayed back home. I've been out here for a few weeks now making videos on my experiences in America, and people are shocked. These are the responses back home. I'm getting hate for saying how good America is, because people just don't believe what I'm saying. And I just need to say to everyone, if you don't believe it, you have to come out here and try it for yourself. I'm here for the 4th of July right now. It's incredibly hot today, and everyone is doing everything to help each other, sharing shade, sharing water. And I've just been in the queue to go on the Ferris wheel. And in the queue, everyone was super friendly, excited to talk to each other, where each other are from, where they've travelled from. You genuinely believe that American people is what makes America great. And I've just been having a killer time. So anyone that is hating on my videos and starting threads like this, you need to come and see it for yourself, especially during the World Cup, because it's a great excuse to come out here.
Somewhere between the backlash and the truth, though, they'd already made their decision. Walking a golf course, an Australian man lays it out with almost brutal simplicity. If you don't like where you're from, stop complaining online for 10 years and do something about it. Move. You'll either miss home or you'll finally be happy. Either way, you'll know, instead of guessing.
If you don't like America, you should just leave. You know what? If you don't like wherever you're from in the world, you should just leave. There's going to be two things that happen when you leave. Number one, you're going to regret it and realize how good it is where you're from. Or two, you're going to be happy that you left. But the number one thing you shouldn't do is just write on the internet about all the things wrong with the place you're from and do absolutely nothing about it to change your life. I know people that have complained for 10 years about a place and they still live there. If you want to change your life and you don't like where you're from, book a plane ticket. I promise you, one of those two things is going to happen.
In Miami, an Australian entrepreneur says it louder. He doesn't care who disagrees. To him, no other country on earth matches the drive, the opportunity, the sheer energy of building something here. He's not interested in softening that opinion for anyone back home.
America is the best place in the world, and I don't care what anybody says. If you want to be successful or you have any ambition or dreams, this is the best place in the world. You're not going to go to Europe. Europe's You're not going to go to Australia. It's full of lazy So where are you going to go? Right here to America, the land of opportunity, where people hustle, where people work hard. And you know what? The government actually allows you to fulfill your dreams. Unlike other places where they tax the fuck out of you, this place helps you achieve your dream. It's a place where you can network, you can leverage money, you can meet people that are like-minded, and you can grow and learn and be the best version of yourself. And that's why for me, Miami is the best place. There's not a city, not Dubai, not London, nowhere in the world like America and like Miami.
On a golf course with his friend Spencer beside him, a young man who arrived from Vietnam 7 years ago, without speaking a word of English, puts it even more directly. He's out here now playing golf on a Saturday, building the life he came for. If people in this country are blaming the economy for their own lack of effort, he says flatly, that's on them, not the country.
Bro, America might be the greatest country of all time. Freaking all time. This is Saturday, right? Hanging out with the boys, freaking golfing, and we all probably make total combined. How much you make this week, Spencer? A lot. A lot. The crazy thing is, I'm a freaking immigrant. I came to America 7 years ago from Vietnam. I couldn't speak English.
And now he's hitting par.
Now I'm hitting par, barely. Seriously, if you're in this country, in America, you're not actually going out there and getting it, and you're blaming the economy, the people, blah, blah, blah. Brother, it's your fault. I'm serious. There's no easier country to make it in. This is hands down the easiest country to build wealth in. No doubt. Even with 30% tax, 40% tax, it's still a lot easier to make it in America than any other country out there. Trust me, from Vietnam. I'm not making this up. If you're in America right now watching this video and you're like, man, I want to go out there and go get it, you freaking can. There's no better country to do it than this country.
What actually means the most, he explains, are the messages from Americans themselves. People telling him his videos reminded them why they love their own country. A kid from a small island in the south of France, quietly handing that feeling back to the people who live there every day. That's the part none of the criticism can touch, because this was never really a story about America. It's a story about what happens when a belief people never questioned runs straight into something real. And instead of looking away, they told the truth about what they saw. Even when it cost them followers, even when it cost them comfort, even when their own comment sections turned against them, they said it anyway, and they never took it back. If their story changed the way you see this even a little, hit subscribe. There are more stories like this one still to come.